Welcome to episode 1 of Kari Jo, how she started her jacket drive. We have a bunch of friends that know about the jacket drive. This is the 8th annual jacket drive. I participate. Kari, let's go in right now about this year's jacket drive, the location, Glory Bound, and drop-off locations, what you're looking for, and then we'll go into how you started the jacket drive.
Okay, so this year we are donating to West and South Hancock Elementary. We start with the elementary schools because the kids actually want to wear their jackets in elementary school. And sometimes as they get older, they're too cool for jackets or whatever. So we try to focus on the elementary sizes, but we accept all sizes. And they will give to the middle school and high schools as well. For whatever sizes they have left over. So we collect everything, but the focus is the smaller sizes. The deadline is December 8th, and that's the week before they get out for Christmas break. So that gives us time to get them delivered to the school, and they can pass out the jackets before the kids go out for Christmas break. And then Wednesday night, this Wednesday, we have, I think this is the 4th year that we've had it at Glory Bound the night before Thanksgiving, where they do drink specials. If you donate $10 on your tab or bring in a jacket or hoodie, new or gently used, to go towards the cause. And then we just have a great time hanging out and doing a good thing for our community while listening to good music. I think Ty and the Kinfolk are playing that night from.
Amazing. I love this event. It is a fun event, Glory Bound. You have to come out, bring a jacket, and you can also donate. Kari has Venmo, PayPal. Put the links in this video. Kids need jackets, but gently used. Yeah, gently used.
Yeah, gently used. And we do warm clothing items too, hats, scarves, hoodies, sweatshirts, sweatpants. We do not turn any of that away. But yeah, it's a big need, and people don't realize it in our community, how big of a need it is.
Let's go into, all right, guys. So there you go. We're going to have the links in there. Now, what got you in starting a jacket drive?
I started it when my daughter Kaylee was 3. She was in speech. She had the cutest little speech impediment. She sounded like a British kid. And she went to speech at Gaucher Elementary. And when I would bring her there, the parents had to sit outside while they were in class. And it was cold that day. I was bundled up. I had a blanket. I had my hot coffee. I had a hat on, and I was still shivering. And I was watching the classes change. And I think I can count on one hand how many kids had a jacket on. And so that started triggering me. And so I asked the speech teacher when Kaylee's lesson was over if the kids didn't have a jacket or if they just didn't want to wear their jacket. And she told me that they didn't have them. And so I asked her if I could just collect some, if that would be okay, thinking that maybe I would get 20, and she said that would be awesome. So I collected and I got 200 jackets. And it was just amazing, the response that we had. It just broke my heart. It broke my heart to see the kids not have jackets and knowing that it wasn't their choice. They weren't just being kids who didn't want to wear a jacket. They literally didn't have it. And knowing how cold I was, bundled up, and they were in short sleeves and pants or shorts and nothing covering them.
What was your first year on what was your first year raise on jackets?
200 jackets.
Exactly. Okay. And then where was the jump from the second year? Do you remember?
So I have averaged around 300 most years until last year. I got about 550. Last year was the first year that we did 2 schools because it is kind of overwhelming for the schools to receive so many jackets. So I've tried to do more than 2 schools going forward. I've had such an overwhelming response between businesses donating, whether that's money for me to go buy the jackets with or collecting jackets in their businesses. And so we've tried to get more creative on how to spread that. And so I've done 2 schools or more the last 2 years, but also I also reach out if anybody knows any families that need any. I set some aside for those families, and then we have a few Angel Tree kids that we're also giving some jackets to this year.
So now it's going to expand out of schools.
Yeah, it's definitely expanding. Well, the Angel Tree children are actually from a school. They were from an Angel Tree that is at St. Martin. But the families, like anybody can reach out to me on Facebook, and if they have a need for, certain sizes, genders, I will set that aside.
We need to get one of them donation boxes and just paint it and put jackets on there and put it out.
Yeah, I'm actually in the process of bringing boxes by to all the drop-off locations. I actually just went to J. Carter and Company Century 21 and picked up a whole bag of jackets they've already collected and dropped off a box. My goal this year was to make some fun boxes and paint them for each location. Didn't make that happen, but I'm dropping off normal boxes for them to put them in.
It'll work. Yeah, I mean, because there's a lot of kids out there, shit. I didn't grow up with a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my mom did the best she can, but when I was in school, I mean, St. Martin, we were from St. Martin. I mean, you're right. I mean, there's a lot of kids that had like a long sleeve shirt or a thin one or something.
Yeah.
You got to see, and this is cool that you're doing that. I mean, because I remember kids freezing.
Yeah. Well, we didn't. Yeah. I mean, I didn't have a lot of money growing up either. My mom did the best she could. And the thing is the schools and everybody does such a good job on kind of keeping it under wraps and trying to take care of these kids that people, they don't know until they really want to know and look. It's easy to turn a blind eye for people when they're hurting, or maybe think of a scenario in your head that maybe it's not what you saw, but there literally are so many kids and families, especially now with price increases on everything, that are hurting and just figuring out how to pay a power bill or a jacket. And I've been there. I mean, when I started the jacket drive, I would wonder how I was going to pay my bills. We were really close at that point. I was working 2 jobs and just trying to figure it out. And so it's not even, it's not to be a fault at anybody that can't do these things. It's just, it's there to help. And
it's plus the fact that I remember you didn't have money. I think at the time I was single. We had our little car club, and you were just a single mom.
Just figuring out social worker, not making that much.
You didn't have money and you did it. And the crazy thing about it is you took a simple problem. It's not, I mean, it's a big problem, but the way you're just like, I'm going to go get some jackets.
Yeah. Well, I went to school for social work. I got licensed, and we are taught to be a voice and to be an advocate. And you have to use your voice, no matter how small. There's the starfish story on the beach, where there's hundreds of starfish, and putting them back in the water when you can't do all of them maybe, but it makes a difference to one. Yeah. And so we might not be able to reach every kid on the coast, but the 1 or 300 that we can reach are better than none of them.
Me and John just got done doing Gulf Coast Spotlight, and that was one of the talking things was just like, with Todd, and they have their foundation, and we were hitting Illinois. Just get some friends together and do it.
Yeah.
Just get out and do it. And you got to continue to do it, because I've watched you grow this, and it's a really good cause. It goes direct to these kids. So if you do have the extra money, please send the money.
I mean, it doesn't even clean out your closet. But if you don't have jackets to give, $10. I say $10 because it's getting harder to find even used jackets at the thrift store, dirt cheap, or wherever for less than $10. And so I try to say at least $10 or more. I do have some people who give, way more than that, which is great. But if you can only do 10 is 1 jacket. That's 1 kid. And that's amazing. 1 kid, just $10. That's 1 less coffee. That's 1 less hey, I'm going to treat myself to whatever this week.
How do they present the jackets to the kid? Do they have like a setup where they can try them on? Or
So we've had different schools do it different ways. I've had schools that do it privately, and the teachers know, which kids are in need and which kids are not, because they've developed a relationship. So some will, they'll put it in the gym, and they'll just let the kid come in privately and pick a jacket and send it home. And then I've had some schools that, literally the whole school is in need, and so they've lined them up in the gym by
cool.
size and color, and they let the kids come in by class and pick their jacket. And that was really cool. That particular school, they all wrote like thank you notes to everybody, and it was just like it was just a very sweet year.
Are you ever looking for volunteers?
Always looking for volunteers. Picking up from everywhere, that can be overwhelming. Organizing them, I'm trying to do better this year on, like, as I get them in, just go ahead and start organizing them, because I've spent 2 solid days organizing by size and gender the best that I can, and gender neutral. But it's so time consuming to do that. So if anybody ever wants to help with that, that is also very welcomed. But spreading the word is huge.
Have you got a lot of jackets this year?
I've probably, as of right now, I think I'm sitting at around 100. I haven't actually counted them yet, but I've had, with this being the 8th year, people kind of have this in the back of their mind now when they're cleaning out their closets. So I've actually been collecting all year already. So I have people who will just be like, hey, I have a bag of jackets, cleaned out my closet, and I'll meet them. And so I probably have 7 bags of jackets already that are really big bags that I think are probably around 100, and then a couple hundred in donations.
And if you want to come out Wednesday, we're going to be dropping this tomorrow. But if you're out Wednesday, come out. Even if you don't have anything, come see what we're doing, what Kari's doing. I think we learned that with Carter's Champions. Kari's also on the board of Carter's Champions, and even like we have people that just come and show up just to see what we're about. And like
just the support, and just to come and fellowship with people who want to just put back good into the community. I try to pick a different school every year, and this year,
how do you pick the schools?
Word of mouth, honestly.
You just call them up?
Usually I make a post every year, and I ask if anybody has a need. There's so many people who are teachers in the community, and it's getting a little harder because this is my 8th year, so I've touched kind of across the whole coast at this point. But this year we found Hancock, which we're very thankful for. But yeah, it's word of mouth, really. Word of mouth on who needs it.
So, all right. What have you been up to now? And I know you got some big, her best friend is my girl, and they just started the Crafty Clover. This has been cool to watch y'all do it. Y'all got a new location in Gulfport. Let's dive in a little bit about where your passion for crafty came. I seen you and her start doing it a few years ago, and then it got intense.
Yes.
A lot of font stuff, a lot of wedding stuff.
Yes, we are. We're taking the dive to do it full time. I put in my notice at my career per se, and now this is my new endeavor, Crafty Clover. We're doing it together. We are commercial accounts, wedding accounts, and then just fun, like just personalized gifts. That's always kind of been my thing. I love to give a personalized touch on things that I do. And so taking that and doing that for people and watching people get excited about gift giving or events and having...
It makes sense. You and her are like Hallmark Christmas.
Yes.
Giving, yeah, it makes sense now.
Yeah.
It just hit me. Now it makes sense. Y'all want to be like the Little Santa's workshops, but y'all been doing it all year round. I am proud of y'all on that. And guys, this is going to be like our first episode. This is important to me because I've been wanting to just get out and do just to be at the Jordan Durham podcast. Kari Jo is going to be on here a good bit. It's going to be a lot of friends and family. We're probably doing podcasts at her craft place. Where I want to be getting out in the community though. I want to be podcasting on the beach and just there's a lot of older people out there with cool stories, and I'm going to be more remote. So I'm going to put the link in for the Crafty Clover, but I will be having Kari back on because I want to save some of her stories and stuff for a later date, because this is the jacket drive. This is for the schools. So we're not having wines or cocktails on here. But the next podcast I do have with Kari, we will be having a glass of wine. So, Kari, if you have anything to say, and then I'll put every link you want me in there, and then we'll send it out.
Yeah, no, really come out Wednesday, have a good time with us. And if you can donate, please do it. I know that it means a lot to the community. Like I said, I've had so many people reach out to me already before I even started advertising for this year. So I know it's on everybody's heart in general in this community. And that just means so much to me. Anyways, I just can't believe how much this has grown, gosh, in 8 years. Like, and that people reach out to me before I even mention it. Like,
yeah,
that's
you're a
insane.
good person, Kari.
So if you can help, please do, because it really does touch our community and the kids in our community, and it really does make a difference, even just one kid.
All right, guys, and this is episode 1. You take care.